Greetings! Mantare79 here, and welcome back to another deck profile video for Cardfight Vanguard Dear Days! Alrighty then, let's begin. Pressing the A button now. Loading game and proceeding. Here we are in the main menu, off to edit deck menu. And now in today's video, the deck profile I'm going to be making one for is a Lyrical Monasterio's Coming Beauty Herminia D-LBT02. Alrighty, let's begin. So go into the deck here. I already pre-built it. Entering edit deck, and off we go. And here we are in the deck edit menu. And like I just mentioned before, the deck I'm building today's deck profile video is a Lyrical Monasterio's Coming Beauty Herminia deck, made up of cards available up until D-LBT02. So first up, let's go to the filter settings and to pack, show only cards from D-LBT01, Lyrical Melody, and D-LBT02, it's a new school term. Apply filter and beginning now. And first, let's start off with the deck's Grade 3 lineup. And now, here we are in the deck's Grade 3 lineup. For the Grade 3s in this deck, we are playing the right deck, Grade 3, Coming Beauty Herminia. Skills, first skill, action as a Vanguard. Cost, Counterblast 1. If the cost is paid, this unit gets plus 5,000 power until end of turn. Second skill, auto, powerful, auto as a Vanguard. At the end of the battle, this unit attacked. If the total number of cards in your soul and face-up cards in your damage zone is 0, cost, discard a card from your hand. If the cost is paid, choose a rear guard with the powerful ability, stand it, and reduce the next counterblast you pay by 1. So for Herminia, she's the main Grade 3 to run this deck. Her skill is the first skill. Just by paying the cost, you can give your Vanguard an extra boost of power. And the second skill, after attacking, as long as the conditions in the second skill are met and paying the cost, not only do you get to restand a rear guard for another attack, but you can also reduce the next counterblast you pay by 1, so giving you another attack and another skill to make use of. And so for the Grade 3 Coming Beauty Herminia, we have 4 in the deck, 1 in the right deck, 3 in the main deck. Next up, the Grade 3 Bathing Fountain Terroress. Skill, auto, powerful, auto as a rear guard. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, if your soul has no cards, cost, counterblast 1. If the cost is paid, this unit gets auto as a rear guard. When this unit's attack hits, draw a card. Until end of battle, choose one of your other units and it gets plus 5,000 power until end of turn. So for Terroress, she's more or less a support card to be played in the Herminia deck. Her skill, when attacking, as long as the conditions of the skill are met and you pay the cost, not only do you get to draw more cards as long as this unit manages to land an attack, but also give another unit in your field a little extra power to work with. And alright, the Grade 3 Bathing Fountain Terroress, we have 4 in the deck. Next up, the Grade 3 Faithful Eye Liliana. Skill, auto, powerful, auto as a rear guard. When this unit attacks, if your soul has no cards, cost, counterblast 1. If the cost is paid, this unit gets plus 10,000 power until end of battle. So for Liliana, another support card for the Herminia deck. For skill, when attacking, as long as the conditions of the skill are met and you pay the cost, you have the opportunity to turn your Liliana into a potential 23,000 point attacker all on her own. And confirm the Grade 3 Faithful Eye Liliana. We have 4 in the deck. And with that, we just about covered the deck's Grade 3 lineup. Next, let's get on with the deck's Grade 2 lineup. And now, for the Grade 2 lineup. For the Grade 2s in this deck, we are playing right deck, Grade 2, Attract Peach, Artinus. Skills, first skill, continuous as a Vanguard or rear guard. During the battle this unit attacked, this unit gets plus 2,000 power. Second skill, continuous, powerful, continuous as a Vanguard. If your soul has no cards, when you would ride Coming Beauty Herminia from your right deck, you can ride without paying a card from your hand. So, for Artinus, she's the main Grade 2 to ride this deck. Her skill is the first skill. Just by attacking, your Vanguard or rear guard Artinus then can serve as a potential 12,000 point attacker for your front row. And the second skill, when you would ride Herminia on top of her Tennis, as long as the conditions of the skill are met, you will not have to pay a usual discard 1 cost for the ride deck cost, thus letting you ride your Herminia for no cost from your hands. And okie dokie, the grade 2, attract Peach or Tennis. We have 1 in the ride deck. Next up, the grade 2, Mia Mia Ensemble Nala. Skills, first skill, auto. When this unit is placed on the rearguard circle during your main phase. Cost, Counterblast 1. If the cost is paid, choose a card from your soul and call it to an open rearguard. Then, for each card in your soul, choose a card from your hand and discard it. And the second skill, auto, powerful, auto as a rearguard. When this unit attacks a grade 3 or greater Vanguard, if your soul has no cards, this unit gets plus 5,000 power until end of turn. So for Nala, another support card for the Herminia deck. Her skill is the first skill. When called to the rearguard and paying the cost, you have the chance to search your soul for any main normal unit from your soul to call to the rearguard to serve as a potential front row attacker, back row booster, or a rearguard whose skill you wish to take advantage of later in the game. And second skill, when this unit attacks, as long as the conditions of the skill are met, your Nala then can serve as a potential 15,000 point attacker for the front row. And alrighty, the grade 2, Mia Mia Ensemble, Nala, we have 4 in the deck. And of that, we just about covered the deck's grade 2 lineup. Next, let's get on to the deck's grade 1 lineup. And now, for the grade 1 lineup. For the grade 1s in this deck, we are playing Ride Deck, grade 1, Sniping Eiffel Larynge. Skills, first skill, action as a Vanguard or rearguard, once per turn, cost, Soul Blast 1, and discard a card from your hand. If the cost is paid, draw 1 card. Second skill, continuous, powerful, continuous as a Vanguard. If your soul has no cards, when you would ride Attract Peach or Tennis from your ride deck, you can ride without discarding a card from your hand. So for Larynge, she's the main grade 1 to ride this deck. Her skill is the first skill, just by paying the cost you can draw more cards. And the second skill, when you would ride Artemis on top of Larynge, as long as the conditions of the second skill are met, you will not have to pay the usual discard 1 card for the right deck cost, thus preserving your hand. And confirm the grade 1, Sniping Eiffel Larynge. We have 4 in the deck, 1 in the right deck, 3 in the main deck. Next up, the grade 1, Burgeoning Tone Signy. Skills, first skill, powerful, auto as a rearguard. When this unit boosts, if your soul has no cards, cost, Counterblast 1. If the cost is paid, choose one of your other units and it gets plus 5,000 power until end of turn. And the second skill, auto as a rearguard. At the end of the battle, this unit boosted. If you have a Vanguard with the powerful ability, stand this unit, choose a card from your soul and put it into your drop. This effect is mandatory. So for Signy, she's another support card for the Herminia deck. Her skill is the first skill. When boosting, as long as the conditions of the skill are met and you pay the cost, you can give another unit on your field, Vanguard or Rearguard, a little extra power to work with. And the second skill, after boosting, as long as the conditions of the second skill are met, not only do you get to restand your Signy to boost again, but then you can also remove a card from your soul to send to the drop zone, thus making it easier to fulfill the conditions of Herminia or any of her other support cards. And alrighty, the grade 1, Burgeoning Tone Signy. We have 4 in the deck. Next up, the grade 1, Beware of Overeating Eileen. Skill, auto as a rearguard. When this unit boosts a rearguard, look at the top card of your deck and put it on the top or bottom of your deck. So for Eileen, a pretty good card to play in your Lyrical Monasterio decks. With her skill, after boosting, you get to preview the top card of your deck and to choose to leave it on top or put it in the bottom, thus making it easier to either get a trigger or to secure a card you wish to draw later for your upcoming game strategy. And alright, the grade 1, Beware of Overeating Eileen. We have 4 in the deck. Next up, the grade 1, Sophie Splash Riviera Sentinel Perfect Guard. Skills, first skill, Continuous Sentinel. You may only have up to 4 cards of Continuous Sentinel in the deck. Second skill, Auto. When this unit is put in the Guardian Circle, choose one of your units and it cannot be hit until end of battle. If your hand has 2 or more cards, choose a card from your hand and discard it. So for Riviera, she's a perfect guard for the Lyrical Monasterio Nation. Like any other perfect guard in the Cardfight Vanguard trading card game, she features the same skill and activation. When used to guard with and discarding 1 card from your hand, you can block an enemy attack. but she can also features an ability unique to all D standard format perfect guards. When used to guard with, while you have less than 2 cards in hand, you will not have to pay the usual discard 1 cost, thus making Ravienna a potential no-cost perfect guard in desperate, last resort situations. And okie dokie, the Great 1, Soapy Splash Ravienna. We have 4 in the deck. And of that, we just about covered the deck's Grade 1 lineup. Next, let's get on of these Grade 0 lineup. And now, for the Grade 0 lineup. For the Grade 0s of this deck, we are playing Right Deck, Grade 0, Cutie Topic, Rabina. Skill, Auto. When this unit is rolled upon, if you went second, draw a card. So for Rabina, she's the starting unit of this deck. Like any other starting unit in the D standard format, she features the same skill and activation. When written on the top of, if you're the second to go in the game, draw 1 card. And okay, the Grade 0, Cutie Topic, Rabina. We have 1 in the right deck. And with that, we just about covered the deck's Grade 0 lineup. Next, let's get on to the deck's trigger lineup. And now, for the trigger lineup. For the triggers in this deck, we are playing Grade 0, Demonic Fever, Gavriera, Overtrigger. Skill, trigger, additional effect. During this fight, you get during your turn, all your rear guards get plus 10,000 power. So for Gavriera, she's a Overtrigger for the Lyrical Monasterio Nation. Like any other Overtrigger in the Cardfight Vanguard trading card game, she features the same skill and activation. When revealed during a drive check or damage check, you get 100 million power and draw a card. But she also features an ability unique to her alone. When revealed during a drive check on your turn, for the remainder of that fight, all of your rear guards get plus 10,000 power. So for Gavriera, she's an Overtrigger that's best revealed early in the game during your turn in a drive check, because when done so, for the rest of the fight, you'll get 10,000 power to all of your rear guards, thus making it easier to either pressure or finish off your opponent in the long game. And affirmative, the Grade 0, Demonic Fever, Gavriera, Overtrigger. We have 1 in the deck. Next up, the Grade 0, Precious Tune, Edwidge, Critical Trigger. Skill, Auto, as a rear guard. At the end of the battle, this unit boosted. Cost, put this unit into your soul. If the cost is paid, choose from your units, and it gets plus 2,000 power until end of turn. So for Edwidge, a powerful critical trigger to play in your Lyrical Monasterio decks with her skill. After boosting, by paying the cost, not only do you get to restock your soul for later Soul Blast, but then you can also give a little extra power to your remaining attackers in the field, Vanguard or Rearguard. And okie dokie, the Grade 0, Precious Tune, Edwidge, Critical Trigger. We have 4 in the deck. Next up, the Grade 0, Wings Dancing the Blue Skies, Antia, Critical Trigger. We have 3 in the deck. Next up, the Grade 0, Transparent Snowy Knight, Baratoy, Draw Trigger. Skill, continuous as a Guardian. If your opponent's Vanguard is Grade 3 or greater, this unit gets plus 5,000 shield. So for Baratoy, she's a powerful draw trigger to play in your Lyrical Monasterio Nation decks with her skill. When used to guard with while the conditions of the skill are met, your Baratoy then can serve as a potential 10,000 point shield on her own. And confirm, the Grade 0, Transparent Snowy Knight, Baratoy, Draw Trigger. We have 4 in the deck. Next up, the Grade 0, Sign of Relief, Fabiola, Heal Trigger. We have 4 in the deck. And of that, we just about covered the deck's trigger lineup and deck build. So first, let's just save the deck. And now for the cards in this deck, we are playing 4, Grade 3, Coming Beauty, Herminia. 4, Grade 3, Bathing Fountain, Terroes. 4, Grade 3, Faithful Eye, Liliana. 4, Grade 2, Meow Meow Ensemble, Nala. 1, Grade 2, Attract Peach, Artinus. 4, Grade 1, Soapy Splash, Riviera. 4, Grade 1, Beware of Overeating, Eileen. 4, Grade 1, Burgeoning Tone, Signy. 4, Grade 1, Sniping Eiffel, Larynge. And 1, Grade 0, Cutie Topic, Rabina, starting unit. And for the triggers in this deck, we are playing 1, Overtrigger, Gavriera. 7 critical triggers, 4 draw triggers, and 4 heal triggers. And of that, the deck has been built, Cardfight explained, and now it's time to test out the deck. So let's just leave the edit deck menu and head over to the main menu, and onto fight menu, and to CPU fight, selecting the deck I just built, the Lyrical Monasterio's Coming Beauty Herminia D-LBT02 deck. Selecting deck and choosing an opponent. I think I'm going to test this deck out on, let's see who would be a good opponent. Alright, testing this deck out on, so many choices. Alright, testing it out on Masaru Kita, normal difficulty. And the battle begins. Let's get started. And here we are in the fight, deciding who goes first. So, a rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Paper to scissors, I lose, going second. Drawing our starting hands, I got a draw, a heal, a Nala, a Larynge, and a perfect guard. Not a bad draw, so keeping all normal units, just redrawing triggers, redraw. Yes, 2 normal units. Stand up the Vanguard, and going first, draw. Nope, going second, sorry about that. My opponent rides Deep Sonicer, soul charging a, yes, draw trigger, trigger out the deck. My turn, draw, and I ride from the right deck, sniping Eiffel Larynge. For the right deck cost, let's see. So many choices. Since I have 2 copies of Signy in my hand, just can discard the extra copy, discard, and ride Larynge. Skill of my starting unit, Rabina. I draw 1 card, and draw. I drew a grade 3, not too bad, so I'm activating the effect of Larynge. I Soul Blast 1, here we go, Soul Blast, and discard 1 card. Discarding, I'm discarding Larynge from my hand, discard, Soul Blast 1, discard, and draw. Critical trigger. Whatever, so let's see, next I'm going to, should I call? Nope, just gonna go with my current field, so skipping main phase onto battle phase. Now, my Vanguard Larynge attacks the Vanguard Deep Sonicer, 8,000, 8,000. The attack goes through, drive check. No trigger, great one. So the attack goes through, and boom! 1 damage, damage check. No trigger, safe. And if that's the end of my turn. Now it's my opponent's turn. My opponent rides the Grade 2 Electro Spartan. And going to battle phase, Vanguard to Vanguard, 10k to 8k. No guard, gonna take it. Here it comes. Drive check. No trigger, safe, so 1 damage to me. Ow! Damage check. No trigger. Persona Ride. I really needed that, so end of my opponent's turn, my turn. Stand and draw. Yes, I drew Persona Ride, so I ride from my right deck, attract Peach or Tennis. Activating Larynge skill. With no cards in the soul, I can ride without paying a cost. And now, I'm going to call to the rear guard, Meow Meow Ensemble Nala. Call! Nala skill. By counterblasting 1, counter blast, I can superior call any card from my soul. I superior call, sniping Eiffel Larynge to the rear guard. Call! Discarding 1 card from hand, I'm discarding the extra copy of Signy in my hand. Discard. Oh, nothing to discard. Oh well. So, let's see. Oh, for each card in the soul, I have to discard. Since I have no cards in the soul, I don't have to discard. Gotta remember that next time. So, let's see. What else can I do? Should I call any more? No, I think I'm just gonna keep my hand as is, so... Nope, wait. Gonna just call 1 rear guard, Signy, over here to boost Nala, and that ought to do it. On to the battle phase. Boosted by Larynge. Tennis attacks the Vanguard. 18,000, 8 to 10,000. 20,000. The attack goes through, drive check. No trigger, great one, Eileen, so 1 damage. Boom! Damage check. Critical trigger, lucky for my opponent. 20,000 now. But thanks to Nala's skill, nope, she can't use her skill. That means, and I don't have any counter blast to use Signy's skill, so my attack won't go through. So I guess that's the end of my turn. Now it's my opponent's turn. My opponent rides the Grade 3. Master of Gravity, Bearer Magnus. Uh-oh, not good. Spartan skill, he soul charges 2 cards. He soul charges 1, sorry. He soul charges Clumsy Assistant, and he calls 3 rear guards. He soul charges 2 cards. Yes, heal trigger out of the deck. Alright, he has 8 cards in the soul, so he can activate only the first effect of Bearer Magnus, and then there's the effect of Engraver. If her attack goes through, she can soul charge 1. Gotta avoid that. So, I better block the first attack, so I guard with Eileen, 15,000 shield, since I already have a second copy in here, so guard. 15k, attack blocked. And Chink, safe. Next up, attack from the Vanguard, 21,000 power. And skill at the back row, counterblast 1, powering up the Vanguard. 31,000, no guard, gonna take it. Here comes, twin drive, first check. No trigger, safe, and second check. No trigger, safe, so just 1 damage to me. Here it comes. Light rings down, and ow! Damage check. No trigger. And now 1 more attack from the rear guard. Curtis, should I guard it? Yeah, I'll guard it. I'll guard with Signy, 15k, attack blocked. And the attack is blocked. Ka-chink, safe. End of my opponent's turn. My turn. Stand and draw. I ride from the right deck. Coming Beauty, Herminia. Activating Ertine skill, I don't have to discard for the right deck cost, and ride! Ah no, I got an over trigger out of my deck, not good. Then, I need to have no cards in my soul, so let's see. I have 1 face-up card in the damage zone. To activate Herminia's skill, I need to have 0 face-up cards and 0 souls, so alrighty, I'm first just gonna call to my rear guard. Faithful Eye Liana to the rear guard, call. And to the back row, calling Beware of Overeating Eileen, call. Then I'm going to first activate the skill of Laryngy. Gonna Soul Blast 1, Soul Blast, and discard 1 card. Discarding a critical trigger. Skill of Laryngy, I get to draw 1 card. Draw! Ah, critical trigger out of the deck, so unlucky. Then I'm just gonna, activate the skill of Herminia, gonna counter blast 1, counter blast, and plus 5,000 power to the Vanguard. That ought to do it. And, so I can now activate my restand ability, so I'm first gonna, nope, I think that's it for my main phase. On to battle phase. First, my boosted by Signy, Nala attacks the Vanguard, 18k. Skill of Nala, plus 5,000, so that's a total of 23,000 power to the Vanguard. My opponent guards with a critical, 28k. And the attack is blocked, but no worries. Next up, skill of Signy. After boosting, she can restand. And now, boosted by Laryngy, my Vanguard attacks the Vanguard. 26,000 power. The attack goes through. Twin drive, first check. No trigger, perfect guard, not a bad draw, and second check. No trigger, grade 3, but whatever, so 1 damage to my opponent, and boom! Damage check. No trigger, Selfish Engraver, 1 less card to worry about. Next, the skill of Herminia. I discard 1 card. I'm gonna discard, I think I'm gonna discard the grade 3 Tourist, and Restand 1, rear guard. I restand. Nala, restand. There we go. Next up, boosted by Eileen. My rear guard, Liliana, attacks Selfish Engraver, 21,000 power. Activating my Eileen skill. And get to preview the top card of my deck. It's a Eileen. Put in the bottom of the deck. And if you have no soul cards, Counterblast 1, but I don't have any Counterblast available, so just not gonna activate Liliana's skill. And the attack goes through. One less rear guard to worry about. Next up, boosted by Signy, Nala attacks the Vanguard, 23,000 power. Skill of my rear guard Nala, plus another 5,000 power. And activating my Signy skill, Counterblast 1, but thanks to Herminia, I don't have to pay a Counterblast, so another 5,000 power to Nala. That's a total of 33,000 power. The attack goes through, and boom! 1 damage to the opponent, damage check. No triggers, one less card to worry about, so... And then Signy restands, but that doesn't really do anything now, so restand, and that's the end of my turn, my opponent's turn. Here it comes, a Persona Ride, not good. Persona Riding, 9 cards in Soul, and he calls the rear guard, Spartan, Spartan skill, Counterblast, and Soul Charge. Now he's in 11 cards in Soul, so... Alright, I'm gonna let the rear guard go through, just gonna block the Vanguard, since Barret Madness gets a +1 critical of its skill, so no guard for this attack. Here it comes. Ow. Damage check. Yes! Heal trigger! Cannot heal, but power to the Vanguard. Power up. That'll help me, so... Vanguard to Vanguard. That's 31,000 power. Skill of Barret Madness. He's gonna pay the cost to add power and critical to his Vanguard. That's not good, so... I better block it. I'm gonna Perfect Guard with Riviera. And for the Perfect Guard cost, I'll discard the critical trigger, Antia, discard 1, and Perfect Guard activated. Here's my opponent's drive check first. Ah, critical trigger, not good. Critical and power to Barret to the rear guard Curtis. Second check. No trigger. Selfish Engraver, so the attack is blocked, and ka-chink, safe. Here comes Curtis at 33,000 power, 2 criticals. Gonna take it, no guard. Here it comes. Ow! Damage check. Ah, critical trigger. Trigger wasted. Not good. All affects the Vanguard, but that doesn't really do anything now. And second check. No trigger, Eileen, so that's the end of my opponent's turn. Now it's my turn. Stand and draw. Ah, I drew a draw trigger. Come on. Fine, whatever. It's time to Persona Ride. Coming Beauty Herminia. Here we go. Persona Ride. Coming Beauty Herminia. Power up. Draw. Ah, heal trigger out the deck. Not good. Then this is gonna be rough. So first, I'm gonna activate the Herminia skill. Counterblast 1. Give herself plus 5,000 power. There we go. And that ought to do it. So hold on. Next, I activate my Lean G skill. Soul Blasting 1. And discarding 1 card. Discarding a draw trigger. Here we go. Soul Blast. And discard. Draw. Yes! Perfect guard. And yep, that ought to do it. So skip ending my main phase, onto battle phase. Boosted by Eileen, my Liliana attacks the Vanguard. 31,000 power. Skill of Liliana. Counterblast 1, Counterblast, and plus 10,000 power. And then there's Eileen's skill. Plus, I get to preview the top card of my deck. The top card of the deck is a draw trigger. Leaving it on top. The attack goes through, and boom! 1 damage. Damage check. Yes! No trigger. Safe. Now, boosted by Signy. My Nala attacks the Vanguard. 28,000 power. Signy skill. Counterblast 1. Counterblast. And plus 5,000 power to Nala. There we go. And then Nala skill, another 5,000 power. So that's a total of 38,000 power to the Vanguard. Double guard 43. The attack doesn't go through. It's fine. I still have my Vanguard attack and Vanguard skill. So boosted by, hold on, Signy's skill. She restands after boosting. So restands. Now boosted by Linji. My Vanguard Herminia attacks the Vanguard. 36,000 power. Perfect guard, not good. Perfect guard, discarding a draw trigger. So the attack fails. Twin drive, first check. Yes, draw trigger. I draw a card. Drew another Signy, alright. Giving all effects to Nala. And then second check. No trigger, another Nala, so the attack fails, but now here comes my Herminia skill with no cards in soul and no face-up cards. Herminia lets me discard one card. I'm discarding a Signy, discard and restand Nala. Now, boosted by Signy, Nala attacks the Vanguard, 48,000 power. And then there's Signy's skill, Counterblast 1, but thanks to Herminia, I don't have to pay to Counterblast, so giving 5,000 power to Nala. And then Nala's skill, another 5,000 power. Total of 58,000 power to the Vanguard. Not another perfect guard, come on! Discarding for the perfect guard cost a Electro Spartan, the attack fails. I was so close. So that's it for my turn, and Signy's skill restand, but that doesn't really do much now at this point, so end of my turn, my opponent's turn. Here it comes. No, not another Persona ride! He powers up, and this is gonna be rough. Rear guard the Vanguard, 20k, so I guard the draw trigger, Baritol, guard! Skill of Baritol plus 5,000 shield, so 23k to the Vanguard, block. Ka-ching, safe! Now, here comes an attack from Spartan. 31,000 power. Skill of Spartan, he's adding power and critical. This is gonna be rough, so that's a total of 41k, 41k 2 crits. I'm gonna perfect guard with Riviera, perfect guard. For the perfect guard cost, I'm discarding one Nala from my hand. Discard, perfect guard, and first check. No, not a heal trigger, come on, so lucky. He heals and powers up. And second check. Double heal trigger. Cannot heal but power up. This is gonna be rough. Here it comes. Ka-chink, blocked. Now one final attack from the rear guard, Curtis. 43k. I guard with the over trigger Garviera, 63k. Attack blocked. And ka-chink, safe. That was close. End of my opponent's turn, my turn. Stand and draw. Critical trigger, come on! Fine, whatever. Then skipping the ride phase, onto main phase, and onto battle phase. First up, boosted by Eileen, my Liliana attacks the Vanguard, 21k. Eileen's skill, previewing the top card of my deck. The top card is a critical trigger, alright. Leaving it on top. Heal trigger, not good. 28k, the attack is blocked. Then next, here comes boosted by Signy, my Nala attacks the Vanguard, 18k. And then here comes Nala's skill, another 5,000 power, a total of 23,000 power to the Vanguard. Heal trigger, attack blocked, not good. The attack fails, but I still got my critical trigger on the top of the deck, so Signy's skill restands. Restanding, and now boosted by Leonjay, my Vanguard Herminia attacks the Vanguard, 21,000 power. Critical trigger, 1 trigger to pass, intercept, 33, 2 to pass. Fine then, twin drop, first check. Critical trigger. My opponent only has 2 cards in hand, so I give all effects to Nala. Power up and critical up. And the second check. Yes! Heal trigger! Lucky! I heal 1 point of damage, healing, and give all effects to Nala again. Power up, healing, and the attack fails, but I still got one more attack thanks to Herminia's skill, so here comes Herminia's skill. I discard a critical from my hand, discard, and restand 1 rear guard. I restand Nala, and 1 counterblast is deducted, so boosted by Signy. Nala attacks the Vanguard, 43,000 powers, 2 criticals. Then, here comes Signy's skill. Counterblast 1, cost deducted, 5,000 power 2, Nala, 48,000, and then here comes my Nala skill. Another 5,000 power, a total of 53,000 power, 2 criticals. The attack goes through, and boom! Damage check. First, critical trigger. Effects to the Vanguard, and the second check. Come on, don't get anything. Second check. Yes! Draw trigger, he cannot heal. Trigger effect wasted, and with that, the game is over. I win. That was a pretty tough fight, but I think got to use the cards in this deck pretty okay in a way. So I got win, double trigger, attack 50,000 more power, guard of 60,000 more shield, perfect guarded, opponent double heal, did a persona right, 8 turns passed, did a superior call, retired 5 or more opposing units, and drew 3 or more times in 1 turn. I got 3150 VP, total 65,125 VP, pressing A to go next, leaving the fight, returning to the fight menu, leaving fight menu, back to main menu. Here we are in the main menu, on to edit deck menu, and here we are. And with that, the deck's been built, card effects explained, and I just finished testing the deck out in front of you. So, first I want to say is, thank you to the viewers for watching today's video, and to please stay tuned for more videos I plan to upload again in the near future. I also hope you all show support by liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing to my videos and channel. And at that I say, goodbye and